Welcome to another episode of the Trailblazers Experience Podcast, where we share candid conversations with women on their career journeys. My next guest is Mo Carrier, co-founder of the sexual wellness brand My Bliss, and My Bliss is dedicated to helping women take control of their pleasure and sexual health. Hi, Mo.
Hiya, I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you because I just think, first of all, just gonna put a bit of clapping in there just to clap and oh, it's normally should work. Oh, it's not working. Usually I've got clapping hands. They're not working today. Never mind. We'll edit that out. But welcome to the podcast. I was reading your investment and your pitch deck, and taking on a $5.3 billion condom industry with a focus on women's health is an interesting feat. Do you want to talk to me about your background and the journey behind starting My Bliss?
Absolutely. So I actually never intended to start a business. It was actually something that I didn't sound like something I'd want to do. It sounded really stressful, like especially handling your own wage and taxes, all that. Never thought I'd want to do it. And I have a background in art, especially art history, and then I worked in marketing for a few years as well. And this whole thing came about because I think, as so many female founded businesses do, from a problem that was in my own life. When I was in my early 20s, I started to have quite severe reactions to my hormonal contraception. So at the time, I had a hormonal coil, and I'd say I was around 21, 22 when it started, and I would start getting severe cystic acne and severe mood swings, to the point where I actually threw a deodorant can at my partner's head in like a rage. And at that point, we were both like, I need to go to the doctors. This is not healthy. Something's wrong. And obviously that time I didn't know for sure it was my coil, but I think many women have like a gut instinct about their own bodies, and I kind of knew. So I think that was my instinct. It was the coil. So I went to the doctors. It was confirmed. And I was told that the current coil I had been discontinued, and they brought out a new one that had less side effects. However, I couldn't have that one until I'd finished my 5 years, which was so heartbreaking and confused. Like, if I'm physically hurting my partner, well, but if I'm physically hurting my partner, surely that's like a clear indication I should be taking off this. And like, even if not to get the new one, but at least to look at different options. But I was told that I should get antibiotics for my skin and antidepressants for my moods. And they obviously have the side effects of their own, and it seems so ridiculous. And I was also told that my side effects were worth not getting pregnant, which again, I didn't think that was, it's not this or that. Like, it surely is like, this isn't working, try something else. And I remember leaving that appointment and just like bursting into tears. It felt so unfair. And the fact that my partner didn't have to suffer at all from our contraception method, it was kind of putting that burden on women, and we have like so much other things to have to deal with. So it felt completely unfair. And basically from that, and actually so I started the business with my partner. We wanted to give women more options and better options, and especially use it. I'll go into it in a bit later, but basically taking condoms and actually making them work for women and work with women's bodies, which I'll go into more detail later, but a lot of the big brands don't. And I think that's why a lot of women feel like they have to use hormonal contraception. I think from when we're young, we're kind of hormonal contraception seen as like a responsible choice, whilst we're trying to show that if it doesn't work for you, condoms can be a choice. So yeah, I mean, that's how it all started.
I mean, Mo, considering that women's sexual health is a taboo, because it's not even talked about at all, whether it's an African culture or the South American or whatever culture you're from. It's tend to be something that's just not even talked about. So when you then make a decision to decide what contraceptive method to use, you're already happy that you've made that first step. 2, you're having those conversations with your partner, open conversation, which is signs of a healthy relationship. And then you go through all these challenges as well. Well, A, it's not the right one for you. And B, you're being told, well, we don't really have options. We're going to give you X, Y, and Z. It could be so, it's so debilitating, isn't it, as well? And you don't really even have the forums. It's much better now to talk about it as well. So the fact that you said, right, I'm having this is not working, and now deciding we're going to actively, my partner and I, do something about it. So shout out to your partner. He's an ally. We love male allyship, which is really important as well. So entering the condom industry. So talk to me about the story behind the name, My Bliss, and why is that important to both of you?
Yeah, so we chose My Bliss because we were trying to take on the orgasm gap as well. So obviously it is much more rare for women to orgasm during sex than it is men. From when we're younger, we're taught how male pleasure works, but not female pleasure. They're very different, and not many people know that. And we want to kind of bring it into just full view that there is a difference. And just before sex, when a woman's holding that condom, I want her to just remember that this is about her pleasure too. And we just hope that just resonates with people and they're reminded. And we try to take so that's just a little idea and kind of build it into the whole product as well. So we made the box like a slider box to give that luxury feel, that kind of chocolate box sort of feel. We changed the packaging so it's like more stylish and discreet. See, it's more of an essential product, but also add a bit of luxury, because we want women to feel, before they're going into sex and penetrative sex especially, we want them to feel like goddesses. We want them to feel, like comfortable, like aware of how their bodies work, aware of how their pleasure works. So we're hoping that just these little details will make the difference. And that is something that me and Joel have always been really passionate about. And yeah, we're trying to spread the message. And I think by owning female pleasure and talking about female pleasure, again, we can take that taboo out. I think it comes into condoms so much as well, that there is still this stigma around women having sex. And we're really trying to push against that, because it is so healthy. It really helps to build intimacy in a partnership. It really helps with health and well-being. It's a really important part of women's lives. And yet so many women feel stigmatized and embarrassed talking about it and uncomfortable picking up condoms from a shop. And yeah, we're just trying to move away from that. And basically with condoms, I'm trying to take on so many different things, and owning female pleasure is one of them.
Yeah, and my sister's a doctor, and we were talking about how we're talking about sexual health and the fact that STIs are still on the rise. There's still lots of people being infected in this day and age with HIV and AIDS. So there's still a lot to do in terms of ensuring we're advocating for as many people to get tested, have these conversations with their partners, and then also use protection. And if we talk about, I'm going to actually ask you about this, because when I close my eyes and think about the whole going to buy condoms in a store, it is a very sterile experience. So what are you taking on? You've talked about the packaging, so making it more, it's something that should sit inside your bag and should be a great luxury experience. I have these condoms with me, but who are you taking on in terms of your competitors? What makes you different from the others?
Yeah, so our biggest thing is that we're trying to change this product from being a sexual wellness product, from being very much associated with kind of sex and this whole kind of taboo world, and reposition it as a women's health essential. One of the main ways we're trying to do that is actually trying to bring into the forefront something not many people know, and that's the fact that condoms actually have so many different benefits for women. So they actually also help protect against vaginal and urinary infections, which, again, where have we ever heard that? Where has that ever been promoted? And I think that comes back to the root that these products have always been positioned for men. And there's just no need for them to promote these benefits. And in fact, what is really frustrating is that a lot of these brands actually do the opposite and put ingredients that actually cause vaginal and urinary infections, which again is so frustrating. And I think that's why I hear so many women saying they find condoms irritating. They they worry that they're allergic to latex when it's not that at all. Just to give you an idea, spermicides are a very common ingredient in condoms, and that leads to UTI infections. There's a specific strain of UTIs, and those are 74% of those cases are caused by spermicide exposure. Also, glycerin that's used in water-based lube, which is the most common lubricant used in condoms, that actually leads to thrush infections, because obviously you should not be adding sugars down there. And again, well, the thing that really, really frustrates me is any product that has a flavor or a fragrance, that's an oral use condom. You should not be using that vaginally, and there is no requirement to put that on the box. So I think for years and years and years, people have been using these products for vaginal intercourse, and I'm not aware that this is an oral only use product. So really frustrating. And again, none of these ingredients are listed on the box. It's a product that you don't know what ingredients are in it. Again, so frustrating. And again, gives you such an idea of how male focused this product is, because this is an internal use product for women. It goes in a very delicate area, and an area that if you disturb that vaginal microbiome, it can lead to problems in the future. It can lead to infertility problems, miscarriage problems, cancer. It is so, we're only kind of scratching the surface of the research into the vaginal microbiome, and it is shocking that this product that we put inside ourselves includes all these dangerous ingredients. So frustrating. So I think our main thing is just trying to reposition this as a female product, and ingredients just being key, and also promoting that this product can actually protect you. So when you're using a condom during sex, you're stopping the bacteria from the man's penis from getting into the vagina, again, protecting against not only STIs, but bacteria that can lead to vaginal and urinary infections. You're also protecting from disturbing the pH balance in the vagina, because sperm is actually alkaline. So when it enters the vagina, you are at risk of disrupting the vaginal pH, because the vagina is slightly acidic. Again, when do we know this? I recently did a pitch in London, and I was talking about these things, and loads of women came up to me afterwards and were like, I've always felt really irritated and uncomfortable after sex, and I never knew why. I never thought about it. And it's so obvious now. And yeah, it's amazing, like how important all this stuff is. And yeah, where was this in our sex education? Where was just learning about female pleasure, not just protecting against pregnancy and STIs, actually learning how our bodies work to ensure that women are enjoying sex, but also how are we learning to protect that area and stop getting infections. I think there's something that we learn as we grow up when we get infections, and then we have to learn through that experience rather than knowing how to protect against them. And obviously we end up spending so much money on these treatments for these infections that we could could be protected against with condoms. And again, they also offer an extra lubrication. So when we're talking about female pleasure, the biggest thing for female pleasure is being properly lubricated. I don't think there is enough clitoral stimulation during sex, and again, that leads to women not being properly lubricated, and sex being painful, being uncomfortable. How can we live like this? So an amazing thing that condoms do is actually ensure that your vaginal lining is protected, and also you're properly lubricated so you can properly enjoy sex. So I'm basically obsessed. I'm really the most obsessed person with condoms there's ever been, because I just think they're amazing for women. They have so many benefits. And I also believe that this is a product that is for your whole life. So I have a lot of customers who are actually in perimenopause and menopause, especially perimenopause, because if you're on the contraception pill, you can't use HRT. They actually go against each other. So if you're starting using HRT, you need to come off the pill. So again, condoms, but you are still fertile. So condoms are obviously an amazing thing to use in that time. And also for women who are in menopause, their vaginal lining is thinning, and obviously you're not getting enough lubrication at that time. So again, condoms are a huge help. You're not having to worry about reapplying during sex. You can just enjoy yourself. It is a women's health essential, and I think that's what I keep trying to push. And it makes such a difference when a product is female founded rather than in an industry that's male dominated. And this is what we're trying to change. So I could go on and on about the benefits, and obviously I've gone into a little bit of detail about the packaging as well, because just simply trying to reposition this in as an essential product, not a product. I think when you look at the condoms that you see on on a shelf in a shop, they're very bold, very dark colours. But then if you look at the aisle compared to the aisle where it's got kind of fresh creams, vaginal washes, the colourings are so different. And we're trying to position ourselves in those kind of colourings in very natural colours, and making it an essential product, because again, we're trying to make women feel more comfortable using this. I think if you always associate it with pregnancy and STIs, that was always going to be that taboo and that kind of embarrassment of using it. But instead, if we say that, no, this is just a product that helps protect you against vaginal and urinary infections, we're encouraging women to feel more comfortable bringing it up. It's not associated. You're not accusing your partner of having an STI. Instead, you're just talking about protecting your vaginal microbiome, which is so so much easier to understand, I think. So yeah. So
I just love the fact that you're so passionate about it and the things that you've just listed out. It's about, I was thinking in my head is why is this important? It's like you said, empowering women, making sure that women are informed about what's happening down there. And thirdly, also making sure that there's a preventative measures, isn't it, as well? And like you said, taking care of the vaginal microbiome. I'm going to talk about your passion in a minute because your team is consistent of yourself, see your partner, you've got a medical advisor, so there is a science behind everything that you're saying, and you've also got a resident sexologist as well. So to bring those two together, so you've got really a strong team, initial team of women as well, guiding the conversation and guiding the research. My question now is, so how long has the business been going on for? And what are some of the challenges that you've faced so far having launched the business?
So we actually founded the company in 2020, but we didn't launch until 2023. It's an absolute nightmare trying to start a condom company. It honestly was so difficult. It took 3 years to actually launch this product, and a lot of that was doing focus groups and talking to women, because obviously we wanted to really make sure we had product market fit and also just serving what women actually want from their products. But obviously as well, working with the manufacturers was an absolute nightmare. We had to work with a company in Malaysia, and the delays, I genuinely think I went mad during that time. It was really, really difficult. So that is definitely one of the challenges. It was really, really difficult. And they used to always going for the cheapest ingredients. They used to kind of doing the standard thing, and to try and make any sort of change in this industry is an absolute nightmare. So, but we got there and we launched in 2023, and within like 5 months, Cosmopolitan and Men's Health made us the best condom brand in 2024. So it was worth it. It was a nightmare, but it was worth it. And just by making those changes, it was so good to see that it was so well received and we were making the right decisions. And the other challenges, I'd say, you experience intense sexism. It's really, really hard. We've also, because we've been trying to raise investment as well, there's so much potential in this industry. And we're wanting to also develop other products that can actively help promote your vaginal microbiome and different SKUs. So we're hoping with investment we can speed this process up and bring out this different range of products faster. But that has been an absolute nightmare. Female founders basically don't get invested in. Only 2% of VC funding goes to female founders. Gyno health products are even worse. We hear so many times that people don't want to invest in this because women's health is risky. What do you think? So half of the population's health is risky. So frustrating. And obviously at the moment it's been talking about a lot that the period health app Flow, I think they've just become like a unicorn, like $1 billion company. What's really frustrating is they've never had to struggle for investment because they are male founded. Not many people know that the women's health app Flow is male founded. They also sell data, whilst an app like Clue, which is female founded, don't sell your data. These are really important things, and I think for a lot of women in this industry, it was really heartbreaking to know how much we struggle to kind of get investment to be heard, and then a male founded company, even in this space, doesn't have to face those challenges. It's very, very frustrating. But yeah, you experience a lot of sexism. I've had men giggling in my pictures, even though this is I don't think it's a particularly funny subject, but a lot of giggling. I've had a 65-year-old man adamantly tell me that only menopausal women use lubricant. And I was 24 at the time, and I was really trying to push back and trying to be like, well, I use lubricant, so you're wrong there. But he would not listen, did not believe that any of our age group used lubricant, which is so, so frustrating. I've also, when I first I think it was in 2021, when we still hadn't launched, but we were kind of like building our profile a bit. I was in an article in a newspaper just talking about the product, just as I've just gone in this interview, just talking about my own experiences with cystic acne, with mood swings. And the article was about me and my partner. And in the comments, the amount of sexism in there was just horrific. I was called a prostitute. I was called like a madam. They said I had no morals. They said, I don't know if they read the article, but there was things about the my cystic acne was due to my morals. It just really bizarre stuff. And I was really astonished. I don't think I faced sexism so intensely before starting this company. It's been a real struggle. But also that one was quite funny. When it's so blatant, it is just kind of funny because it just, the lack of education there is crazy. So you do face a lot of that. It's very difficult. Yeah, and I think what is good though is the actual reception from our customers is amazing. The feedback is so wonderful. But we also face things like the censorship from Meta. It's really, really difficult. In this industry, so many companies get shadow banned. You end up having your ads constantly brought down to the point where you kind of want to give up. So I am actually mentored by the owner of Coco de Mer. She's absolutely amazing. She's called Lucy, and she was telling me about how they've just given up with ads. It is so difficult to basically keep them up at all. Just talking about women's health products, it is insane. And it's health. It's not like, I know as well, Valentina, who's the founder of Day, she's had an ad come down because there's a pregnant woman. An ad come down because they gave the reason a tampon was a contraception product, which obviously it's not. Really bizarre stuff. And yet ads about Viagra don't have any problem. It is really, yeah, you really see like the worst of society, I think, being in this industry. So very, very difficult. But, you know, there's so many incredible women like yourself, just like giving a platform for us to find other methods of trying to speak to our customers, and finding like the mentorship that you can get from other female founders is absolutely incredible. Like I said, Lucy, it's amazing. And I've had so many women just support me and help me out. So I'm trying to give like a pros and cons to being in this industry.
I mean, look, Mo, it's so important for you to talk about the challenges, because I think most of the time that is sort of what stops women in their tracks, isn't it, to keep going. And look, I am an advocate for women's empowerment, women's sexual health. I'm the oldest of 8. I've got 6 sisters. And if they are listening and they learn something from this and that helps them with their sexual health, brilliant. I've got sons as well who I have very open conversations with as well. You know, I want them to be good men and good partners, etc. So I think there's a lot of taboos that, you know, the taboos are the stigma of the topics not being talked about. We know that STIs, UTIs are on the rise. We know HIV is still on the rise, despite the fact that we are now in 2024. And the censorships that are happening don't really help as well, because you're trying to promote, you found a problem, you've decided I've got a solution for it, and it should be supported in as many ways as possible. Let's talk about the milestones. So you launched your business. I love the fact that you really took the time from ideation. So starting the business and saying, right, we need product market fit. We need to know we have the right product here, get it right for the market, and then launch. Let's talk about some of the successes, celebrate them that you've had so far. So we talk about the PR feature in Cosmopolitan and Men's Health. What other milestones do you want to shout out about so we can big you up this morning?
Oh, thank you. I'm not very good at this part. I'm not very good at being a bit.
You can do this. Come on, Mo.
But yeah, it's been great though. Obviously, the pressings were absolutely amazing. Talking about amazing female founders as well. Before I even launched, I went on a panel, and there's amazing woman called Tara who founded East Village PR. And after watching me on the panel, she offered to give me free PR for a year, and she's just been like the most incredible advocate. So that was a really important milestone for us. And obviously through that, we've been able to get such amazing exposure, amazing press. We've also had a 50% average monthly growth rate, which has been incredible. We don't have a lot of, we managed to get a £50,000 investment from my university just before we launched. And that we've had to survive on that. And so we don't actually invest very much in our marketing. We just can't. And we've still managed to have that kind of growth. And obviously most of it is from word of mouth. So that has been just such an honor, and to have that and to kind of seem to get this support from my customers is absolutely amazing. So that's a huge thing. We're currently, it's not, I don't know if it's something to be proud about, but we are trying to get investment again, which is so difficult, but I am quite proud of it because it's really, really difficult to do that and run a company. So, because I'm actually the only one in my team who's full-time, but Dr. Rosie still works at the NHS. My partner Joel has a full-time job, and that's how we've managed to survive. So obviously, I'm just in such a privileged position that we can do this. So I would actually like to shout about that because I think being able to survive this long on no money has been really, really difficult. We've also, in 2023, when we launched, we got a partnership through SheSpot, who are a sexual wellness platform, and we were on Sephora. So that was obviously amazing. And that was, I think it was in a few months of launching. Incredible. And then in no time, we were the most popular condom brand on that site. We're also on Debenhams. We've actually recently pitched to Boots, which was incredible, and they love the product. So yeah, that has obviously been amazing. We are trying to pause and just think about our growth because obviously we don't want to make big decisions and we don't have much funding behind us. So yeah, but so far it's been absolutely amazing. And then on all our platforms, we've got 5-star reviews, which is, especially being a condom company, you worry one day someone will just have a bad experience, but it's been so amazing to see that everybody loves it. And I think one thing that I find really encouraging is that half of our customer base are men. I never expected that, and it has been really encouraging to see. And when we actually surveyed them, we found out that the reason these men were buying these products is, firstly, their partners were asking them to get them, which I love, that men are taking responsibility and the ones who are paying for this product. I think that's huge. I mean, the amount women have to spend due to the pink tax is massive. I don't want to add to that. So the fact that men are buying them for their partners is so amazing. But also, it was that for them, it was an easy choice. If you're going to, what is there available at glow-in-the-dark condoms, flavor condoms, why would you not choose a product that's actually for your partner, which is actually going to protect their... It was really encouraging to see that was quite an easy choice for a lot of men as well. So it's not what I expected, but that has been really something I've been really excited about. And like you say,
I mean, amazing milestones. Look, it's important, I think, sometimes to just lift your head up and just celebrate the wins, because that's what keeps you going as well. And it's a product that is necessary. The customers are happy and there is a customer base out there. So you're building traction, which maybe not as fast as you would have hoped, but actually when you now connect the dots. So I've seen the roadmap for your business, and you are currently in a pre-seed round. So you are, now looking to raise funding, which is great. And I think, you've got the product market fit. You've got customers who bought the product. You've actually got proof of concept, which I think is really important. All the questions that investors will be asking as well. Talk to me about your values and the foundation. So having heard the story about the brand, what do you think for you more are the core values and the ethics that drive you as a founder? I love the fact, Mo, that you, as a female-owned startup, is the main thing is you are looking to really try and solve a problem that you are having. But what's been the basis and the foundation for your business model is women's needs are at the forefront of what you're trying to do and improve, and the product. And your point about the healthcare system it's not geared towards preventative, medicine. So whether it's nutrition, mental health, it's geared towards, we're going to give you as many drugs as possible, and hopefully try and solve the problem, versus actually looking at the root cause would have probably been a better position as well. Let's talk about networking. And you've already mentioned how you've got a mentor, and shout out to the founder of, I think she's the owner of Coco de Mer. That's brilliant that you have that on your side and all these platforms. Are you a natural networker? Are you a natural person who just goes out and seeks out, women or men to network with? Or is that something that you've had to throw yourself into, basically jumping at the deep end? I mean, you've just hit the nail on the head, isn't it? Your partner, your co-founder just said that you just get better at dealing with it. So you're going to have to pitch so many times. You're going to have to talk about your business and why you started it and why it's necessary so many times that you just get better with dealing with it. I think you're going to pitch more times than you'll ever need to as well. Talk to me about running a business with a co-founder, and what are some of the things that you've learned about that dynamic in terms of being a startup, but actually being a startup and running it with somebody else. It's something to be said about just finding your tribe, isn't it? Having that circle. So your co-founder is your circle, your safe space, where you can have those open conversations, where you can, have someone to motivate, inspire. And that's it. A lot of the women I've spoken to, whether they're founders or leaders in businesses, they've had to find that tribe, that circle. They say, look at the 5 people around you, and that tells you a lot about your life and the direction it's going. So the fact that you have this and are able to juggle, you've done already so much. I keep saying about from the fact that you had an idea, you started it, and now building a business, there's still going to be lots of challenges along the way, but so worth it, definitely, especially with this product. It's so necessary for women. Now, we always end the podcast with Trailblazer takeaway tips. So, where you share with all your wisdom now, Mo, as a seasoned founder, lessons to share with and impart with the audience. What would they be? Mo, I mean, I've read your investor deck. I've just hearing your story. There is a future for sexual wellness products out there, and My Bliss should definitely play a role in shaping that future. So, wishing you all the best, and thank you so much for being very vulnerable, sharing your story. You are an inspiration to many women out there. It's just really great, even refreshing to hear that someone is tackling this issue head on. And I look forward to seeing where My Bliss goes. So thank you very much. So on that note, for the viewers, this has been the Trailblazers Experience Podcast. Do me a favor, tell another woman about the podcast, and remember to follow, like, share, and subscribe. It does help us. And thank you so much.